Everybody wants to scale. Scaling means more revenue, more clients, a bigger team, more offers. But before you grow, the question that you need to ask yourself is your business actually ready to hold the growth that you're asking for? Scaling does not fix what's already broken in your business. It only multiplies it. If your processes are inconsistent, more clients is just going to create more inconsistency. And the same if the ownership is unclear throughout your team and your business. A bigger team is going to create more confusion. And if everything is already depending on you in your business, more revenue is actually going to create more work for you, not freedom. So let's talk about how you can determine whether your business is actually ready to scale. You can sign more clients, you can launch another offer, you can hire another team member, and you can increase your revenue. That's growth. However, if your new clients are creating more work for you, and if your new hires are requiring more management from you, and if every new offer that you launch is creating more chaos, you are growing, but you're not scaling. Scaling means that your business can support growth and handle more without requiring more of your actual personal involvement, okay? So just like I put right here, scaling is more without more of you. And that's kind of just a short way that you can remember it. So instead of asking, how can I get bigger? I want you to ask yourself, can the business that I have right now support becoming bigger? And there are a few areas that I want to look at today. So first, I want to start with the foundation of your business. As you know, the foundation is important to anything that you're building. When they're building a home, the first thing that they build is a foundation, and you always want to make sure that your foundation is sturdy and stable enough to support anything that you place on top of it, okay? So the first thing I want you to ask yourself when it comes to the foundation of your business is, what would break if my business doubled tomorrow? If you suddenly had twice as many clients, would you be able to handle that? Would your client delivery be able to handle that? Can your team, are your systems set up to support twice as many clients? Could you, as a CEO, support that many clients? Maybe your onboarding isn't consistent enough for that many clients, right? Maybe your team doesn't know who owns your client onboarding, or maybe the process only exists in your head. Maybe you're already at capacity. Maybe you need to delegate some things. Maybe you need to, remove some things. Maybe you need to automate some things. Maybe you need to hire someone. Whatever would break first is showing you where your operational foundation needs to be strengthened before you're able to add more weight to it. Next, you want to look at how the work is actually being done in your business, okay? So the repeatability of things. Can the process happen consistently? Scalable businesses are not built around memory. They're built around repeatability. You need to take everything that you're doing regularly, whether that be your client onboarding, whether that be content, delivery, payments, launches, and you want to ask yourself, does this happen consistently every single time, or are we kind of just figuring things out, piecing things together as we get along? If you can't consistently produce the result with the workload that you have now, adding more volume is not going to solve that. And this is where documentation matters the most in your business. And I'm not telling you to go and create a 40-page document for everything in your business, but it is important that recurring processes need to be clear enough that someone knows what they're doing, how to do it, what resources they need, and what a successful result looks like, okay? So in conclusion, before you go multiplying something, just make sure that it's already repeatable. Then look at ownership. Does the team know what they own? You can delegate tasks and still have a business that completely depends on you. There is a difference between Sarah does this task and Sarah owns this outcome. If you're still checking to make sure that everything is getting completed timely and making sure that everyone is meeting their deadlines, approving everything, answering constant questions, you've only delegated the labor. You haven't transferred ownership. So I want you to ask yourself, if I disappear for a week, what would break and what would stop because everything was waiting on me? And those answers are going to show you what ownership, authority, expectations, or documentations that you need to have in place and aren't clear enough yet for you to scale. Then we have capacity. Can the team or the system absorb more demand? Sometimes your systems aren't broken, they're just simply overloaded. You might have a client delivery system that works beautifully for 20 clients, but that does not automatically mean that it's going to support 40 clients. So I want you to ask yourself, if demand was to increase by 25% next month, where will we feel it first? Are we going to feel it in our team? Are we going to feel it in client delivery? Are we going to feel it in the support? As the CEO, are you going to feel it? And then before you automatically go and try to hire someone, I want you to actually look at the work itself and determine whether you can eliminate some things, whether you can automate some things, and whether you can delegate some things. And finally, you need to look at the proof. Do you know what's actually working? Don't multiply something because you think that it's working, okay? Look at the actual data. Look at the proof in the pudding. If you're scaling client acquisitions, are you actually successfully delivering to and retaining the clients that you already have? How can you add more clients to your team and your workload and your caseload if you're not successfully taking care of the clients that you already have onboarded? If you're scaling an offer, is it producing the results that you actually wanted to produce? If you're looking to expand your team, is ownership and expectations already clear? And this is why KPIs are super important. The way that I like to view KPIs, because they can be super overcomplicated, is my simple 3-part framework: inputs, outputs, outcome. What are we doing? What is it producing? And is it creating the results that we actually want? The last thing you want to do is scale something that isn't working. Your business does not have to be perfect to grow, but you should have enough operational confidence to know that your important processes can be repeated, okay? That your team members know what they own. You know your capacity, okay? And you can actually see what is working in your business. You need to know that your business can handle more without requiring more of you. And if that means that before you're able to financially scale, that you actually have to pull yourself back and focus a little bit more on organizing these things, then that's just what it has to be. But you want to ensure that you have your foundation in place. You want to make sure that your processes are repeatable and that your team understands what they're responsible for, so that everything's not coming back to you. You want to make sure that you have that capacity and that none of your team members are overloaded and that things are evenly distributed throughout your team. And you want to make sure that everything is working before you try to create more and put more onto that actual foundation. And if you're wondering what's actually broken in your business, or you just need a little bit of help determining what you need to start fixing first, I created the free Visionaries Business Brain Map. I will have it linked in the description box or the bio for you. It is going to help you identify the operational gaps that is creating the dependency, the chaos, and the unnecessary work within your business. And I want you to remember, before you focus on scaling your business, make sure you've actually built something that's ready to scale.